Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Investigamer, and today I'm going to talk about Alien Isolation, which I did a review for just the other day, right here, and Outlast, which I did a review for a couple months ago, maybe, which is right here. Anyways, these two games are both survival horror games. They both have their pros, their cons. They both have kind of different gameplay styles, but they're in the same cloth. They're cut from the same cloth. And there's kind of been a little discussion going on in the comments, and I've talked to a few people on Steam who, some people they prefer Outlast, they prefer that take, and some people they prefer Isolation, and people get kind of heated over which is better and which is better for the money, and all this stuff, and I'm just going to kind of give my opinion, my 2 cents, over which one I would rather play, which one I think is more valuable for the price tag. Outlast goes for around, I think, $20, and Alien Isolation you can find between, I think it's 50 on PC, it might be 60 on consoles, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Anyways, Outlast is a game where you cannot fight back. You have no weapons, no craftables, no anything. You basically have to hide when there's enemies around, and the whole game is about hiding, capturing footage, solving a few minor puzzles, and just surviving, getting out of the asylum. And in the DLC, it's about also getting out of the asylum for different reasons. And then with Alien Isolation, it's a lot more proactive. You can fight back. You have weapons. You have craftables. You have ways to divert the enemies. Deception, that sort of thing. So the games have one major difference, and that is one is proactive and one is just hiding. Hiding, filming, just trying to survive. It's cut down to the bare minimum, basically. And that also makes the game a lot shorter. There's less to do. It feels a little, played out near the end, but for the most part, the entire 6 hours it took me to beat Outlast, I never felt like I was, wasting my time. Whereas Alien Isolation, even though you get the guns and stuff, as I said in my video, it's kind of long. It drags on. I have no problem with a long game. I was trying to tell people this in the comments. People were having kind of a problem with what I said. They were saying, we get all these games today. They're 6 hours long and cost $60. And it's so awesome to get a game for $60 that gives me 20 hours of gameplay. I like long games because I get my money's worth and that sort of thing. Well, in the video, I never said that a long game is inherently wrong. What I was trying to get at is that a long game is bad if most of it is spent with padding and filler, doing nothing. Your brain is on autopilot. A lot of people in the gaming sphere who review games here on YouTube, they will tell you that brevity is sometimes a good thing. Padding and filler, that's not real gameplay. When your mind is on autopilot, when it's doing something just to go through the motions, just because you've done it a million times, that is not engaging gameplay, and it ultimately leads to burnout, and it leads to you getting bored of something. Whenever you do the same mini game over and over again, whenever you flip the same fucking switch, you go up to it and you're like, oh, I know that I'm gonna have to press these two buttons and then move the stick, and then I flip the switch. When you do that stuff over and over again, you're not making decisions. You're not making gameplay decisions. And so it's just autonomy. And that is not what video games are all about. Video games are about challenging yourself. It's not about doing the same activity over and over again. And that's why I do not like playing MMOs, because grinding is essentially that. And that's the reason I've stayed out of reviewing MMOs for a long time now. Because most of them, it's very autonomous. So that's where I'm coming from when I say the game is too long. I just think it overstayed its welcome, if you know what I mean. But comparing Outlast to Alien Isolation, there are so many great things about Alien Isolation, and it's kind of an obvious pick for me to choose that one over Outlast. Even though it's more expensive and it does waste my time, there are some things I did not convey well enough, in my opinion, in the Alien Isolation review. I think it was kind of overshadowed by how over the top I got about the length, but at the time the length was really pissing me off. I got really angry about it at the end, because there's so much to love about this game, and it just kept wasting my time. I feel like if they cut all that shit out, I would have been just crying with how great an Alien game finally is. Alien Colonial Marines completely disappointed me and made me I was to the point of almost crying how bad that game was. I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise. So The best part probably about Alien Isolation and what makes it better than Outlast in my opinion, what makes it leagues better, is the atmosphere. It captures the alien atmosphere so perfectly. It captures that feeling of being trapped on this space station, this very foreign place, with all these very overwhelming, huge plastic buttons and keyboards and monitors and metal all around you, and you're alone, and it's very dark through 90% of the game, and there's this alien lurking in the vents above you. You can pull out the tracker and see it's fucking moving around. And whenever it finally comes out and you're hiding, it is stalking you, and you feel like it could find me. No matter where I hide, it may find me, and that possibility of dying is before me all the time. It was just a lot better than Outlast. The AI is way better than Outlast. Outlast had its own atmosphere, and I really liked it. I liked the camera aesthetic, where everything, could be in night vision and stuff. But ultimately, Alien Isolation is one of the best portrayals of a horror movie I've ever seen in video games. And I don't want people to think this is a bad game just because it's long. If you play 10 hours of it and quit at that point, before it starts getting, pissing you off, you won't know what happens at the end, but at least you won't get frustrated. Or alternatively, since, I review games, so I have to play them in 1 or 2 sittings. I have to get them over with so I can review them. So a person like you, if you want to spend the money on Alien Isolation, you can play, 2 hours at a time and just break it up. And maybe those elements where you just flip fucking switches constantly, maybe they won't get so grating if you just layer the playing out. That's a good point that someone made in the comments. I forgot who it was, but thank you to whoever mentioned that. But yeah, getting back to the point of this video, Outlast versus Alien Isolation, I would pick Alien Isolation. I gave them both the same rating in my review, but Alien Isolation is, in my opinion, the superior game. It will give you more gameplay hours, even if, sometimes it will feel a bit overdone. And, for the money, for only $20, Outlast is a great 6-hour experience. There's a lot of lore to it, with documents and stuff that you find, but I just would pick Alien Isolation. And also the added fact that you can shoot back, and you can divert people using like noisemakers and stuff, and there's the working Joes, the androids. They're scary in their own right. They just walk towards you with this, feeling that I'm going to kill you, I'm doing nothing other than killing you, this is my task, I have to do it, and they've got these red eyes. It's a flawless capturing of what these things could be like, if the androids just lost their sense of, don't hurt humans. I loved it. Overall, once again, great game. Do check it out if you're interested in the Alien franchise or survival horror games in general. That's all I got to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative. And until next time, never trust the crowd, only the investigation. Cheers.